And you haven't answered my question yet.
I'm not going to answer that question.
You're not?
No, I will not answer that question.
Why will you not answer that question?
Because I want to make sure that what I say is accurate, and I'm not trying to get anybody else.
I'm asking you, how did you get this information?
I'm not telling the court. What I'm saying is based upon information.
Okay, well, listen, if you don't tell me how you got this information, then you and I are going to have some problems.
We can have this. I have problems right now.
Young Thug's trial has become one of the most talked about cases in the world of rap. Not just because of the serious charges he's facing, but also due to the unbelievable courtroom drama that's unfolded.
The tension in the YSL racketeering trial continued today with the lead defense attorney comparing the Fulton County courtroom to Russia.
Now we're getting to the latest in the trial of rapper Young Thug. The 31-year-old is appearing in court today where a judge will decide if his own rap lyrics can actually be used in a RICO case against him. Thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Williams, is up against 2 charges: conspiracy to violate the RICO Act and also participation in criminal street gang activity. He faces life in prison.
From shocking accusations to intense legal battles, the trial has had no shortage of wild moments.
We've had yet another instance of alleged contraband being introduced to our space, and as a result of that and a subsequent investigation, one of our inmates unfortunately had to go to Grady Hospital. The other thing I would just invite counsel to talk with their clients about, I know I've mentioned this 3 times now, what is considered to be acceptable behavior. This is the 3rd time that we've had contraband introduced into this in this space.
Here's what happened. We got this video from court. Take a look at the part we highlighted here. Do you see this? Right there. According to court motions, Young Thug's fellow defendant Khalif Adams passed Percocet to Young Thug under the guise of a handshake right in front of the entire courtroom. Adams is serving a life sentence for murder. Now, right after what you see there in that video, court documents say that law enforcement immediately moved in to search Adams, who resisted. But once they searched him, the documents say they found more contraband, including Percocet, marijuana, and tobacco, all wrapped in plastic, and food seasonings to mask the smell. The court documents go on to say officers thought Adams swallowed even more contraband, so they rushed him to Grady Hospital. They say court had to be delayed for the rest of the day.
Cordarius Dorsey, also known as YSL Polo, was making some unusual hand gestures in court. On Friday, Young Thug's attorney filed a motion to sever from Dorsey, claiming his behavior could negatively impact Young Thug's chance for a fair trial. Well, the motion reads that Mr. Dorsey displayed unprofessional and unacceptable conduct in the courtroom.
At the heart of much of this chaos is Young Thug's attorney, Brian Steele, who has found himself in the spotlight for more than just his defense tactics. Let's dive into some of the most jaw-dropping moments that have taken place so far in this high-profile case.
Every time Mr. Copeland comes in the courtroom or out of the court, he's escorted by a DA's office investigator. You see that? This court is observant. You're not just sitting there in a cloud. You see exactly what's going on. You hear the prosecutor tell you, we were in a room with Mr. Copeland and he said these things. Why? Why do I have to bring it up? You should be bringing it up. This is crazy. This is like communist Russia. Mr. Williams is having the worst trial.
The trial has been filled with issues and has stretched over a year with no conclusion in sight. Steele's actions and subsequent contempt ruling are the latest twist in his high-profile case, which began with a jury selection in January 2023. The charges against Young Thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Williams, include violations of Georgia's anti-racketeering law, gang-related activities, and various drug and gun offenses. One of the most recent developments going on in this trial involves Thug's defense attorney Brian Steele, who has been found in contempt of court in order to spend the next 10 weekends in jail. This decision was made by Fulton County Superior Court Chief Judge Ural Granville after Steele refused to disclose how he learned about a confidential meeting between the judge, prosecutors, and a key witness.
How did you find out about any of that?
Well, I'm disturbed too, and the reason
I'm asking you a question. How did you find out about it?
I'm going to ask you the question.
Okay.
This court handed Mr. Copeland.
Tell me how you got the information.
Listen, whatever you want to do.
Tell me how you got the information, then we can go ahead and go forward.
I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is this. I was told, and I hope this concerns the court.
It concerns me that you have proprietary information.
Why is it
or
proprietary?
Information that you should not be having that was ex parte.
Why?
With a party.
Why?
State of Georgia.
How about the witness? How about Mr. Copeland, who supposedly announced he's not testifying and he'll sit for 2 years, and then supposedly this honorable court, or excuse me, let me rephrase that, this court supposedly said, I can hold you until the end of this trial. Ms. Hilton supposedly said, actually, all of the defendants and then all 26 people are disposed of. If that's true, what this is coercion, witness intimidation, ex parte communications that we have a constitutional right to be present for. So I understand that you're upset towards me, but I don't know what I did.
Mr. Steele, I still want to know, how did you come upon this information? Who told you?
What I want to know is, why wasn't I there? Why,
sir, I'm going to hold you in contempt if you don't tell me who tell me who this information was coming from.
I don't want to be held in contempt.
Well,
I'm
then,
not answering that question. That's attorney-client privilege information. I am not answering.
Attorney-client privilege, unless you were in my chambers, that's the only way you can figure out. I tell you what, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. If you don't tell me if you don't tell me who it is, I'm going to put you in, I'm going to put you in contempt, because that is not attorney-client privilege.
Attorney work product privilege. I am not.
How did you get that information supposedly from my chambers? Did somebody tell you?
I'm not. You should have told me.
You got 5 minutes.
Well, I don't need it. I want to continue.
You got 5 minutes?
This is what I was told. Mr. Copeland made statements that he admitted to killing Donovan Thomas and was. Don't take my notes. No.
Steele then filed a motion to remove Judge Blanco from the case and requested a mistrial, citing concerns about the judge's impartiality and the overall fairness of the trial. The prequel thing about this is how Steele asked the judge to be placed in the same cell that Young Thug was held in, which essentially means he got sentenced to 10 weekend sleepovers with him. It's pretty hard to name any other lawyers who have done something remotely similar to him, and I'm pretty sure Young Thug is glad he ended up hiring him to begin with. Steele accused Judge Glanville of holding an improper ex parte name with the prosecution and a key witness. This accusation was serious, suggesting potential coercion and witness intimidation. Steele's refusal to reveal his source of information led to his contempt charge and subsequent jail sentence. The exchange between the judge and Steele was pretty wild to see go on in court, with many legal experts and fans questioning the legality of his actions and a clear bias the judge showed towards Young Thug's legal team. In his 3-hour opening statement, Steele detailed Young Thug's difficult upbringing and defended against each of the 36 overt acts listed in the indictment. He explained the context of Thug's social media posts, lyrics, and other alleged gang-related activities, emphasizing the rapper's right to artistic expression. Steele rigorously challenged the prosecution's evidence, particularly focusing on the credibility of the witnesses and the legitimacy of social media posts and song lyrics being used as evidence of criminal activity. He argued that these elements were artistic expressions and not indicative of criminal behavior. In court, Steele made emotional appeals on behalf of Young Thug, detailing his difficult upbringing and personal hardships. These appeals were designed to humanize Thug and present him as more than just a defendant in a high-profile criminal case. Throughout the trial, Steele managed significant media attention and public scrutiny. He made several statements to the press emphasizing Young Thug's innocence and criticizing the prosecution's tactics. His media strategy was part of a broader effort to sway public opinion and support his client. Kenneth Copeland, aka Lil Woody, is a key witness in the Young Thug YSL trial. He is a convicted felon who has been heavily involved with the YSL game. Copeland's testimony has been significant and contentious in the trial. His evidence was controversial, with evasive responses and allegations of memory problems.
Are you gonna let me ask you some questions?
Okay.
How old are you?
Grown.
Okay, what does grown mean?
I'm an adult.
Okay. And when you say you're an adult, what number in years are you?
I plead the fifth.
Copeland was reluctant to testify and made numerous complaints while on the stand. In October 2021, Copeland was arrested in Fulton County for having a loaded gun in his car. He has a criminal background and has been charged with a variety of gang-related offenses. Following his arrest, Copeland provided police with information about previous and upcoming crimes. He indicated his willingness to help secure a confession from Young Thug, which made his testimony a pivotal part of the prosecution's case. During the trial, Copeland's testimony was marked by evasive answers and claims of memory issues. He was reluctant to testify, made complaints about his physical condition, and showed lack of cooperation with the court proceedings. His credibility and reliability of his statement has been questioned by the defense. Steele accused the prosecution of coercing Copeland into testifying by suggesting he could remain in jail until all the cases in the RICO trial were resolved. This allegation was part of a broader controversy surrounding the trial, leading to claims of witness intimidation and improper conduct by the prosecution.
And when you were younger, did you go to school?
Yes.
Where did you attend school?
I don't know. I went to a lot of different schools.
Okay, what are all the schools you went to?
I don't recall all of them.
Or just tell me something about it.
I only know one, Slater,
Slater, is that elementary school or middle school?
elementary.
Why you don't remember what middle school you went to? Did you go to middle school?
I think I did.
How long did you go to? Did you finish middle school?
Overruled.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. Did you go to high school at all?
Yeah.
All right. Please look at those pictures.
Do I have to look at them?
Yes. I'm going to start first with Stacey Exhibit 350 Yankee. Tell me if you recognize individual in Stacey Exhibit 350 Yankee.
I recognize myself.
Okay. Do you recognize anybody else in 350 Yankee?
Myself.
Do you recognize anyone else in 350 Yankee?
Their faces covered up.
Okay. Do you see someone's face who's not covered up in 350 Yankee?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recognize who that person is?
I can hardly tell.
Okay. Is that Shannon Jackson? Your Honor, at this point in time, I'm turning to impeachment. Do you know someone by the name of Demekion Garlington?
Street name.
Little D.
For sure.
How do you know Little D?
I didn't birth him.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I almost birthed him.
You almost birthed him?
Yeah.
Tell the jury, what do you mean by that?
I mean, he my son.
Okay. And let me ask you this. Do you know another person who's referenced as Little D?
What you mean?
Do you know someone who's called Little D from Cleveland?
Oh, I heard of him.
You heard of him. Okay, we'll talk about him.
The trial has included testimonies and evidence regarding Young Thug's alleged involvement in gang activities, including accusations of him being a ringleader in a violent criminal street gang known as YSL. The prosecution presented evidence of social media posts, song lyrics, and other activities to support their claims. The jury selection process took nearly 10 months, significantly delaying the trial. This prolonged process was a major point of contention and frustration for all parties involved. Brian Steele's defense strategy involved dismantling the prosecution's evidence by providing context to social media posts, lyrics, and other activities deemed gang-related. He argued for Young Thug's right to artistic expression and provided explanations for the rapper's actions.